Hello everybody, this is an introduction to algebraic expressions. I will discuss the terminology, for example, what's a variable, a constant term, and a trinomial. Now what is algebra? Algebra is a branch of mathematics which involves using symbols to represent values or unknown quantities. There's this man, his name is Al-Khwarizmi. He is seen as the father of algebra, the best known of the Islamic mathematicians. He is considered one of the greatest mathematicians of all time. His books were studied long into the Renaissance. To him we owe the words algebra and algorithm. Now let's look at some terminology. The first one is variable. A variable is a letter of the alphabet that we use to represent an unknown value, for example, x or y. Algebraic expressions. Mathematical sentence consisting of letters, numbers, and operators. Now when I give you the algebraic expression 3x plus 8, then our variable is the x, the alphabet letter. There's also something we call a constant. That is the plus 8. What is a constant? It's a number in an expression that is independent of any variable and does not change. That means, in short, that the constant is the number without a variable. The coefficient. That is the 3 in front of the x, in front of the variable. What is a coefficient? It's the number in front of the variable together with its sign. Now you'll see that arrow points to nothing. If there is no sign, it means there is an invisible plus. Let's look at term. A term is the different parts of an algebraic expression. Terms are separated by plus or minus signs. The expression negative 3a plus 20 consists of two terms. A variable term minus 3a and a constant term plus 20. What is a monomial? A monomial is an expression with one term. For example, 3xy. And whenever it's written like that, 3xy directly next to each other, it means 3 times x times y. So the 3 is called the coefficient and x and y are the variables. And that's only one term is called a monomial. A binomial, an expression with two terms. For example, x squared minus 4. So it's the minus that separates the two terms. Binomial, two terms. A trinomial, that's an expression with three terms. And here you can see the plus and the minus separates the three variables, and that's why it's a trinomial, three terms. And then a polynomial is an expression with two or more terms. So in other words, the binomial, trinomial, etc., they are actually all polynomials. And there is an example of a polynomial. 2a plus 7b minus c plus 8. That polynomial consists of 4 terms. Now let's look at some conventions in algebra. What is that? It is some rules mathematicians follow so that they can understand each other, and it makes calculations tidy and understandable. We write the coefficients in front of the variables. In other words, when I give you A3B, we would rather write it as 3AB. Can you see? The coefficient is in front of the variable. If there are lots of variables, we write them in alphabetical order. For example, if I give you -2 ONM, we write it as -2 MNO in alphabetical order. We don't use a multiplication sign in algebra. Instead of writing 4 times x times y, we write 4xy. In algebra, the number 1 is sometimes omitted. Instead of writing 1x to the power of 1, we only write x. Y times -1 can be written as -y. Now, terms are separated by plus and minus. However, any expression inside a bracket is considered one term. In other words, this looks as if it's two terms, a binomial, but the bracket joins them together. Therefore, that is a monomial, one term. If you look at the next one, you will say this plus and this minus separates them, and the bracket joins the 4a plus 3. Therefore, that one is a trinomial, 3 terms. Any expression over a divide line is considered one term. So when I give you a plus b over 5, this is a monomial, one term. The division line joins them together. State whether these expressions are monomials, binomials, or trinomials. Let's see. When I give you 3xyz, this one is one term, a monomial. The second one, mn plus 2n minus 8. This plus and this minus separates them. This is a trinomial, 3 terms. When you look at that, it's this plus that's going to separate the 2 terms. Therefore, 2 terms, a binomial. Now this one looks as if there's 3 terms, as if it could be a trinomial, but it's definitely not. The bracket joins everything inside the bracket together, and when the 2 stands directly next to the bracket, it means multiplication. Therefore, that is a monomial. It's one term. When I give you 2 plus a plus b, it's the 2 pluses that separate the 3 terms. Therefore, there's the answer, trinomial. Well, this one looks as if it could be a polynomial with 4 terms, but it's definitely not. There's your division sign, and the division sign joins them together. Therefore, that is a monomial. -ab plus 7b, it's the plus that separates them. Therefore, it's a binomial. When I give you this one now, it's the division sign that joins the x plus y over 2. The minus separates that from 8. There's a plus that separates, and a minus c is joined inside a bracket. Therefore, that one is a trinomial. Given the following algebraic expression, x plus 4y minus x squared minus 8. What is the coefficient of x? So we go to x. The number in front of the variable x is the coefficient. Now remember, when there's nothing there, It's 1. Invisible 1. What is the coefficient of x squared? So you go to x squared, you find a minus and nothing. When there's nothing, there's an invisible 1. So the coefficient of x squared is negative 1. What is the constant term? The constant term is the term that has no variable, therefore minus 8. Which variable has a coefficient of 4? So you go to 4 plus 4, 4, and you see the answer there. The variable is y. Given the following algebraic expression, and then I give you the expression. Is this a trinomial? Let's see. It's this plus that is going to separate the negative 5 and the 2a plus 3 over 4. And then the 2a plus 3 over 4 is all joined with the division sign. And then there's the minus that separates them again. And then the 2a plus 6 is joined with the bracket. Therefore, there's definitely 3 terms. Is this a trinomial? Yes, indeed. What is the constant term? Now remember, the definition for the constant term is the term without the variable, independent of the variable. Therefore, the constant term here is negative 5. In the next video, I will teach you how to do some calculations with algebraic expressions. Click on the video in the left-hand corner to take you straight to the next video.